Hello and welcome to World Talks with me, Hashim Kumar. Poland is hosting a conference of Palestinian ambassadors from across Europe, highlighting Warsaw's continuing diplomatic engagement in the Middle East. As international recognition of Palestinian statehood gathers pace, we examine Poland's role, European policy, humanitarian priorities, and the prospects for a lasting two-state solution with Riyad Mansour, Permanent Observer of Palestine to the United Nations. Ambassador Mansour, welcome to TVP World, and thank you for taking the time.
Thank you very much for having me.
I know you've had a very busy day already so far.
I did, yes. I'm delighted. You know, we had a big meeting in the Foreign Ministry, headed by one of the deputies of the Foreign Ministers and six heading different departments.
Right.
So we had an extensive, deep discussions on all global issues related to Palestine and the United Nations.
Understood. Well, you're here for 3 days, I believe, or there's a three-day agenda, and you're attending a Palestinian ambassadors conference being hosted by the Polish government.
Yes.
Now, Poland, recognized the Palestinian state quite a way back, 1988,
yes.
So quite a long time ago. How would you characterize the relationship between Poland and the Palestinian state right now?
Our relationship is a very good relationship. And as you stated, it started from a long time ago. And we were able to build on that tradition to convince other Europeans, especially on the western side of Europe, to follow these steps. We started, from Sweden, 2014, and now we have about 30 Europeans and Westerners, countries that have recognized the state of Palestine. There are about 13 left in Europe, and we hope that they will follow the rest soon. And we are working with them and engaging them, and this is one of the issues that we will be discussing with our ambassadors in these countries that have not yet joined the rest. Of course, the recognition of the state of Palestine is an investment in peace and investment in saving the two-state solution. And in Europe, it's becoming the position of the majority of the European countries, especially when Spain, France, the UK, among others, that have joined this process, including, of course, from outside Europe, but they are in the Western Hemisphere, such as Canada and Australia. This is a very important development. We have about 160 countries that have recognized the state of Palestine. But we need to continue the march so that this illegal occupation, as characterized by the International Court of Justice, that it has to be terminated as quickly as possible, and the Palestinian people to enjoy the independence of their own state, independent sovereign state of Palestine on the borders of 1967 with East Jerusalem as its capital, so that we fulfill the global demand that the two-state solution should be implemented in order to bring peace to the Middle East. We are working for such an objective.
Thank you for clarifying that. Now, a couple of questions. There is momentum. Countries are recognizing the Palestinian state, but there are many countries that are not. What is stopping them?
Not many countries. In Europe, in the past, they were telling us they will take the step of recognizing the state of Palestine once you and the Israelis reach a peace treaty. We tried that for a long time. It did not work because Israel, instead of moving towards peace, they were moving in the direction of not allowing peace to take place, such as building illegal settlements, such as taking annexation, illegal annexation, of course, such as annexing East Jerusalem, and also the genocidal war that was waged against our people, particularly in Gaza, and also what we see of aggressive, negative, illegal policies against our people in East Jerusalem and in the West Bank through the terrorism of the settlers and their attacks against our people in order to force Palestinians in the land of the State of Palestine to be expelled out of their country, so that to fulfill the dream of that Palestine is a country without people, and the Jews are people without a country. They want our land, they don't want the Palestinian people. So it is our collective responsibility not to allow them to succeed in doing so. And that's what we're working for.
In what way? Because basically you're alluding to the peace agreement. You're saying you're working towards it. What is it that you're doing that's moving you closer to that?
Well, what I'm saying that this is what we did, and now, as I said, 30 countries from the Western countries, most of them in Europe, got convinced that the policy of trying to do the same thing that did not deliver peace is an exercise in futility. So we told them, try something else. They were not convinced for a while, but finally, including also the impact, the huge impact of the genocide against our people, and tens of millions that were in the streets in Europe, in the United States, calling for peace, for free Palestine, then they started influencing with our effort everywhere, including at the United Nations, that they started to lean toward, let us start something else. Let's recognize the state of Palestine as an investment in peace and saving the two-state solution.
Right.
We started with Spain, with Ireland, with Norway, with Slovenia in the year 2024. Then followed in 2025, especially in the historical summit at the United Nations on 22nd of September, and the conference was led by President of France and the leadership of Saudi Arabia, and adopted the New York Declaration, which is a remarkable historic roadmap that would lead to peace and justice.
Okay.
Then 12 countries recognized the state of Palestine,
right,
including France and the UK, and now we are 160. So that is the new approach. So they change from waiting until we reach a peace treaty between us and the Israelis, which it did not work for a long time.
So recognize the state first,
recognize
and then
the state now, in order to say that we want you to negotiate making it happen, meaning the occupation to end, to allow the state to become independent, sovereign, contiguous, and the Palestinian people to live in freedom and dignity. So that's the
Understood.
new thing.
But
we are not yet finished. We are there, we're getting closer, but there are many things are happening.
Well, there are many things happening, many obstacles which need to be addressed. And some countries are saying one of the obstacles is Hamas. I mean, what role does Hamas play in achieving that peace?
The main obstacle is the Israeli government under the leadership of Netanyahu. He is having a government the most extreme among all the extreme governments in the history of Israel. He is instead, when we reach agreements, including the initiative of President Trump with 8 Arab and Islamic countries, and we supported that effort. When he put on the table the initiative of the 20 points, starting with a ceasefire, humanitarian assistance, no to displacement, no to annexation, these are the words of President Trump, and no to occupation, going through the rest of the points, including point 19 of his initiative, that there will be a political horizon to allow the Palestinian people to exercise self-determination and statehood. So that we are saying, let's implement these things. Prime Minister Netanyahu and his government, they don't want to implement this plan. So what do? They dragged the United States into this war in the Gulf. And then they opened this war against Lebanon and also Syria. So that this way, while the world was moving in the direction of ending the occupation and the two-state solution, Netanyahu is taking us into more wars and more problems, including Iran retaliating against our Arab brothers in the Gulf and Jordan, and complicating the situation more, and taking the attention and the efforts from concentrating on ending the fight in Gaza, moving into the political horizon on the question of Palestine, ending the occupation, two-state solution to become a reality, which is peace and saving lives. He is insisting to take us into war, more conflict, keep things complicated, and keeping President Trump busy with other issues instead of concentrating on implementing the 20 points of the plan of President Trump, which was reflected in Security Council Resolution 2803. So as the Israeli leadership changing the discourse, we are adjusting in order to bring things back to the point of momentum so that we can bring peace between us and the Israelis on the basis of justice, on the basis of international law, on the basis of relevant UN resolutions, which all of them say in the occupation, two-state solution.
Understood. Okay. Now, Poland is in a position where it has a good relationship, obviously, with you and your ambassadors around the world, and with Israel. Is there a role that Poland could play in achieving some sort of movement forward?
Yes, they can. And all of those who are friendly with Israel, they should find ways to convince them that the course that they are following is self-destruction course. It does not give you security, and it does not bring peace. Try something else. Try to have peace with the Palestinians. We are committed to the peace plan, including the plan of President Trump. We are committed to the New York Declaration, and it has a roadmap that is fabulous and fair to us and to them. We are committed to international law, to UN resolutions relevant to resolving this question. We are committed to these things. Let's move in the direction of implementing these things. That will be good for us. It will be good for Israel. So Poland and other countries who are friends with Israel, we appeal to them to try to influence Israel and convince them to move in that direction and to move away from the direction of more war, more destruction, more killing, because that will not bring peace and it will not bring security to the region.
Well, certainly something needs to change. I mean, there is another area, of course, and unfortunately we don't have time to discuss that, but that is free and fair elections, quite difficult to do in situations of wartime. Would arranging those also help?
We started the process of having elections. We had the local elections, including in one city in Gaza, Deir al-Balah, and in the cities under occupation in the West Bank. We are planning to have elections, parliamentarian elections in November in the West Bank. And President Abbas said early in the springtime of next year, he is planning to have presidential election in Palestine. So that we are doing, and we are planning for it. And we need all countries to help us, not to allow Israel to disrupt our elections and to allow our people to go through these processes and to elect the leaders and the representative that they feel that they should be leading them and representing them in this current stage and in the stage to come.
All right. Ambassador Mansour, thank you very much for coming in. I know you, as I said, you have a busy day. You had a busy day, and you've got a couple more busy days. I wish you the very best of luck in your meetings over the next 2 days, and I look forward to our next opportunity.
Thank you very much, and we thank Poland for hosting us.
Thank you very much. And that brings us to the end of this episode of World Talks. Don't go away, lots more coming up. Goodbye.